The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host, and you can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, and from 10 until noon on Talk 995 in Birmingham. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is with 256today.com. She is the CEO, Smart News for Smart People. We've got a great show for you today. Tim Melton will be with us. He is my co-host down in Birmingham. We'll talk with him about a couple things going on around the state and nationally. I have got a parting shot with an idea for a bill for the Alabama legislature because they need some help. I'm willing to help them. We're going to talk about them a lot here today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, let's talk a little bit about this grocery tax. It looks like it is going to move forward. The bill is going to be a little different than we originally expected here. All 35 members of the Senate have signed on board to a plan that Will Ainsworth, the lieutenant governor, is pushing, and it looks like we are going to see this happen. The rebate check, forget about that. No one's even talking about that right now, but they are completely uncoupled at this point. There is no rebate check. We're talking instead possibly about having just this grocery tax cut. And what I find interesting about it is they went with a broader definition. For food, they went with a very broad, like basically anything you put in your mouth that isn't cigarettes,
tobacco,
alcohol, cocaine.
They went with the SNAP definition over the WIC definition, which I thought was a smart move. Yep. The other thing is, I think Ainsworth has made a believer out of me. How long have we talked about this? But to hear him get up, make the arguments, make the speech, and really back this up, I think it might happen. What about you?
Yeah, no, he is someone who is out there saying, look, I'm going to be a lieutenant governor who is more active than the actual governor. Mm-hmm. The actual governor on a bunch of things, and we're going to talk about school choice and a bunch of other things that she says she supports. Where is she? And I don't mean that like a ha-ha.
There have been criticisms that if this is your agenda and these are your goals, you need to stand up and support them, fight for them, and move it forward.
And if you talk to legislators, it's not as if she's operating some sort of clandestine lobbying situation. She is non-existent in this. She'll show up for the signings and things like that.
I haven't heard non-existent.
They're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of debates inside the caucus.
Grocery tax.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, she's non-existent into the conversation. It's unfortunate. She should be out there, especially because they're picking up wins.
Well, not only that, though, but listen, that's her proposal to do the tax rebates.
Well, that's an L. So maybe that's why she's staying away from that one. So that, she's not. That's a loss.
A lot of lawmakers have said they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
I have my doubts. You have your doubts. But
how many of them are they going to do? Like, can they do them both? This one seems like a big swing. They're doing it. They're moving, and it wasn't really getting talked about before the session, and it came out of nowhere, and here it is.
Some people were talking about it. We talked about Daniels has consistently beaten on that. Sure. Anthony Daniels.
I'm talking about it in a way that was going to get 35-0 in the Senate.
Really. Yeah. Really. And I think that signifies that there is this widespread support, and this actually has a chance to go all the way, y'all.
Yeah, they got the money, so let's go ahead and do it. I think it'll be fun when it dies in the House. All right, so let's talk about the debt ceiling here for a second. This one will start in the United States House and then die in the Senate. There is a plan here. We're going to cut $4 trillion in spending in order to raise the debt limit even higher above the $31 trillion and all this other stuff. So Kevin McCarthy got his deal done. He got all the Republicans on board except for 4 of them. One of them was Matt Gaetz, who came out and said, I'd have voted for this tomorrow. I just didn't like the procedural stuff. So most Republicans were on board with this. Oddly enough, I talked with Congressman Mo Brooks, the former congressman from the 5th Congressional District this week. And I said, would you been on board with this? Mm-hmm. And he was like, absolutely. I would have been on board with it.
Really?
I would have gone along with this, mostly because this is not going, these are not his exact words. I'm paraphrasing here, and I'm kind of offering up my own thoughts too. This is not what the end is going to look like.
No.
This is about saying to Joe Biden, come out of your basement. If you see your shadow, do not go back in. come out of the basement, and you operate in good faith and negotiate with us.
Well, he's already said that he plans to veto this if it were possible to pass both chambers.
Like if Chuck Schumer had like a giant episode and accidentally put this up, and other people had episodes and voted for it, and it got through, because this is going to die there in the Senate. And I'll tell you why I know it's going to die in the Senate. Here's the key part of all of it. You have people like Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden, even in his announcement of running for president, which nobody cares about. Tucker Carlson getting fired was a bigger story this week than that.
Well, that is a really big story, though. I mean,
it shouldn't be bigger than the president,
okay,
89 years old, running for re-election or whatever he is.
That's fair.
But the point is, if this were to get close to being passed, you'd hear Joe Biden saying, they're going to melt your bones. I mean, Karine Jean-Pierre said at a press conference that Republicans want to make your kids sick and melt your bones. And literally, that's what they said. And I think they would have come down on this particular piece of legislation the same way. And so this is the starting point for a conversation.
Okay.
A negotiation, if you will. Okay. So they'll melt your bones.
That's a good one.
Watch out.
That's a good one.
Watch out. All right. Let's talk about education. Something happened this week in education that I love. Terry Collins, a Republican from Decatur, offered up a year-round schooling bill. And I love it for a couple of reasons. One, summer brain drain is a very bad thing. Two, imagine Grant not being at my house all the time. It would be even better. And three, if I can't have school choice, I want year-round school. Joke's on me. Can't have school choice or year-round school in this legislative session.
Food insecurity is also a big issue for year-round school. A lot of times, providing those meals, the meals that you get at school, are the most dependable meals that a lot of students, unfortunately, are able to receive. So that is one more in favor of year-round school.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, the feeding program, like the trough, and they all come and eat it at the trough. I think that's a great idea. But listen, under your argument, or not your argument, but under that point, let me just say, I agree with that. And there should be more than year-round school. Keep them coming in more often. If you're going to have to feed them, at least teach them something in the process. But the camera conversation on there says cameras.
Yes.
State Senator Arthur Orr has a bill. If you have so many developmentally delayed or special needs kids in a classroom, there has to be a camera that records going. Who's against that? I think, I mean, it would have to be like the AEA. They don't want cameras in there watching what they're doing, which is weird. I mean, why are you against this? All three of those things that are listed there, choice, year-round schooling, cameras, all seem DOA. Why?
A multitude of reasons, but tell me your why, because that's obviously going somewhere.
Well, my on choice, they screwed us. It's so hard.
Listen, I told you from the beginning this wasn't going to happen. You
it's the way they did
act surprised.
It's the way they did it. They put it in one committee, the Committee on Policy, Education Policy.
It was never going to get done.
They did all the markups. They did the public hearing. At the end of the public hearing, the guy's like, you should probably go over to the Taxation Committee.
Yes.
And now,
it's never gonna
now
happen.
we're going to run out of time. That's what's going to happen. These other ones, I think, are far-fetched. I think the camera one could possibly become a thing. I don't see any reason why that would be a no.
Well, no. And Collins, I mean, it wasn't just year-round.
It was adding 30 days to give them the right to go year-round and stuff like that, to give them the option to do so. But then you could do year-round without adding any days if you wanted to. But the answer is more schooling. I'm sorry, it just is. And I heard Phil Williams, the talk shows, and Jeff Poor, talk shows, both say to me, oh, you just want the government to raise these people's kids. And I'm just like, yeah, that might be right. That might be right. Get those kids away from their parents. That might be a good idea. All right, lastly, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Ron DeSantis. I was going to stop on the way here today and get a pudding cup and have Mecca describe and show you how Ron DeSantis was described eating pudding. And there's
absolutely would not have partaken in that. I 100% would not have been part of this.
Okay.
This video gives me such the ick. I cannot.
It's an attack ad from Trump, the Trump world, against Ron DeSantis about some story he ate pudding with his fingers once.
The pudding cups. Yeah. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the pudding cups, which are gross enough anyway, but now imagine eating them with their fingers. Now, this ad actually has an actor
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Okay. Then they have Disney suing DeSantis,
so
and you got Trump pounding on DeSantis all the time. He's supposedly going to come out in May and say, okay, I'm going to run for office or run as president or something, which is a couple days away, in next month. He's going to do this. Is he taking too many hits before the start, which is exactly Trump's plan here? I'm going to pound away on you and knock you down, and when you get in, it won't matter. Has that been effective?
I mean, I honestly, I can't think of him right now without thinking of the pudding cup ad. So I'm so mad at whoever came up with that. Oh, that's so gross. I'm so mad whoever came up with this ad, but also like that was brilliant because that you're just immediately like, oh.
You know, if I was Donald,
What kind of monster would do that?
if I was Donald Trump, I don't know if I would want to be putting out ads about the little foibles and things like that people have, because he has a lot of them.
Oh,
I mean,
so many,
he really does
so
have
many.
a lot. Like I might show an ad where he's sitting on a white couch and he gets up and he leaves his hair there,
Or the orange tan.
or the orange
Or
tan,
the orange
or
tan.
something stupid like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you open up the door for this. I
You
want to go
do.
to the Disney thing here real quick. Ron DeSantis is being sued by Disney. They're saying, oh, we have constitutional rights. And I love watching the media and their Democrats say, oh, yeah, they're violating their constitutional rights. So I just want to make sure I understand this. Corporations have constitutional rights now, which seemed like a big deal when Mitt Romney suggested it. Also, suing Ron DeSantis over this is pretty interesting. The legislature gave them their special district and took it away. It had nothing to do with the actual governor. He just signed the bill.
So, okay, tell me how you feel then about this Disney fight. Has it helped DeSantis?
God. He's fighting woke Disney. Yes, it's great.
Right,
Let
but-
the war go on forever.
Okay.
I
So
mean-
them suing him, you think helps him as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, Nikki Haley came out the other day and said, "Oh, move Disney to South Carolina." Okay, do you really think that A, Disney's going to move Space Mountain? I don't think that's going to happen. And B, did she talk to anyone in South Carolina? Because what they're mad at Disney about is the way they tried to interfere in their education system. And I don't think the people in South Carolina are like, yeah, come and do that kind of stuff. So I don't see that being a smart move. But DeSantis is in trouble. I mean, I think he is.
It's the pudding cup.
He's damaged. That's the least of it. That's just the visual there that you have. When we come back, Tim Melton will be with us. He's a talk show host out of Birmingham on Talk 99.5. We'll talk about some of these stories and more. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
I'm a small business owner, and after the past 2 years, I'm ready to hire. But it seems like every time I find a good worker, they don't have a driver's license. Hard to get to the job if you're not allowed to drive. Support the bipartisan driver's license bill and get folks back on the road. Workers drive Alabama. When we're free to drive, we're free to work.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Have you filed for disability benefits but were denied by the Social Security Administration? Or do you need to apply for benefits and are overwhelmed with paperwork? Are you between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury? Thousands of hardworking Americans are in your situation. They file for disability benefits every month and are unnecessarily denied their much-needed benefit check. Call now for a no-obligation, free evaluation. We can help you nearly double your chances of approval and get your benefit checks faster. We understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact and will share our insider expertise. There is a time limit to apply. We're here to help you get your disability claim filed and paid as soon as possible. Please, time is limited. So, if you are between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury, call right now and let us help you file your disability claim with the Social Security Administration.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you. Well, welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week is Tim Melton. He is the talk show host at Talk 99.5 down in Birmingham. He is my co-host, and I put the wrong thing up on the screen, but that's my fault. Don't worry about changing that. Tim Melton is here with us. Tim, let's talk for a second about school choice. I have been geeked up about this for a long time. This week, I think the Republican legislature, or the Republican-led Senate, I think did something kind of shady, where they kind of are trying to run the clock out to pretend they're doing something, and I'm pretty angry about it. So should I be angry about this, Tim, or should I shut up and be happy that they at least tried?
Dale, I just wish I was as passionate about this as you were, because every time I'm a guest on this program, you ask me about school choice, and I hate to break it to you, but we're in the same place we're always at. And I don't think it's trending in the right direction for you. But, yeah, you should be a little bit heartbroken, in my opinion. And also, I thought I was going to be moving up there to Huntsville. So that's not right on the screen. I guess it's not. But I'm looking forward to seeing radio choice, where I get a choice of where I'm going to spend my talents. And it would be with you, my dear friend, in Huntsville.
Okay, Tim, listen to me, though, okay? I've told Dale since the beginning this wasn't actually going to happen. It was lip service. It was just talking about it. Was I right? Was this ever a legitimate?
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Congratulations, Mecca. You win. Yes, 1,000%. And I just prepare to disregard school choice every time I'm coming on here with Dale. So, Dale, I apologize. But that's kind of where we're at right now here in the state of Alabama. I hope you keep pushing it forward. But so far, you have garnered very little momentum.
Oh, yeah, ain't that the truth? I will tell you, I think there's a real chance the way they game this is very smart for this year, but very bad for the future for the opponents, because I think this is going to irritate a lot of people, especially the people that they brought down there. They're friendly with those people. They brought people from Republican groups, from Christian schools,
right.
From school choice organizations. They brought all of them down there and said, oh, yeah, come on in. And then at the end of the meeting, they said, we're not even going to do a vote.
But will it irritate enough of them? We've talked about that. Do enough people care?
Well, you're irritating. Sorry, Tim. We're going to have a little private conversation. You're saying that you're irritating.
You can jump in there.
Your friendlies, and that's a problem, and it could ripple out into other events.
Okay.
Tim?
One day I'm going to be able to have casino choice in this state, where I can go to any casino I want to support any school I want. That's my goal. But so far, it has not changed from the moment we have spoken on this program. So that's where we're currently at. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, Tim, let's talk about something that's pretty disgusting here. I have to, because Megan's just put it in my mind. This pudding cup ad with DeSantis. There is this, it's not really DeSantis, it's an actor, eating the pudding with a pudding cup. Have you ever done it?
I've never eaten pudding with my fingers in the capacity in which is shown in the ad. No, I have not. But I have drank barbecue sauce with a straw, so I can admit to that here live, that I did not have a proper way to eat a jar of barbecue sauce with my barbecue, and I didn't want to make too big of a mess, so I just put a straw in it, and it was perfect.
Weird stuff like this has an impact. People remember it. People see it.
I'm scarred. I am scarred.
Mecca is scarred by it. Does this have a real impact, you think, on the election?
It depends if they're going to continue, if there's going to be a sequel. I think if we get a sequel to this, that it could continue to be a thing, but I think it will eventually fade out of memory. But it's only if we get a second version of this, which it's very possible that we do, knowing that this is sort of the tactics that have shown themselves early on in a presidential race where we don't even have the candidate who's being attacked entering the race yet. So I think we'll see a sequel of it.
When you say a sequel, do you mean doubling down on the pudding cup thing, or do you mean like an additional kind of ick moment?
So far, pudding cup is the one weird food thing associated with DeSantis, so I think they're going to do a different type of pudding cup ad if I had to put my bet on it, because it just, for some reason, has garnered a lot of conversation, at least within media circles, of people being grossed out, and it's effective. We're talking about it, so I wouldn't be shocked if there is a second pudding cup version of the same attack ad.
Now, listen, Dale brought up, though, what if they flip the script and they could do the same thing against Trump, once DeSantis presumably enters the race?
Well, here's the counter argument to that. One side seems to have some level of standards thus far, and the other side does not. So I think that that's a little bit of a stretch. But, yeah, if we want to start getting into throwing things against the wall and having ketchup and ice cream and all different types of food fights, that's one thing. But I'll tell you who's licking their chops during all this, and that's Democrats who go, let the food fight continue on, gross out America on our behalf, and they're the ones that benefit from all of this mess.
Yeah, I look at that, and I look at the whole thing, and the thing that surprised me most about all of it was at the end of the ad, wasn't it like Donald Trump, I approve this message? I mean, he's attacking him by name, and he's doing it under his campaign. Right. It's not so much aligned allies and stuff like that, so it's very different. All right, let's move back to the state of Alabama here for a second. 35 senators out of 35 are on board with the grocery tax. Now, look, we saw the game with the school choice stuff, how they did it in one committee and another. It's possible it goes into the House and it dies, and then it goes grocery tax. Never even thought about that. No idea. Is this our surest sign that we're going to do grocery tax and not a rebate?
This is the better pudding story out of the two, because when you go to the grocery store and you get there and you're seeing the level of inflation that's giving you less of the products in which you need to run your household every week, this is a way to tackle that head on and help give Alabama families a little bit of relief. So the fact that there is momentum in this, the fact that there seems to be some level of unity and strength being shown towards cutting the grocery tax, I think that that's a positive development that's going to get people more energized about actually what's going on in Montgomery compared to just tuning it out. So I think that this is a very much a positive, Dale.
Now, we have talked about, though, the grocery tax. Obviously, it's moving. I mean, it's got the support. Ainsworth came out and was just, fantastic and pushing this forward. What about the tax rebates? Governor Ivey's proposed rebates, where are those now?
Yeah, I'm not sure those have nearly as much, I would say, enthusiasm behind them, or at least the amount that was initially pitched out there during the State of the State. I don't think that this is something that's ever really had the full momentum. I think it's had many Republicans probably scratching their head in Montgomery. But will it move forward? It'll really be a test of Kay Ivey's leadership and her influence as well in this. I think that there's a referendum that we're going to see play out in Montgomery of whether or not she can get what she wants pushed across the finish line. And right now, I think, some people maybe look at her as being a little bit of a lame duck governor. So there may be some more influence that would have to join her side of this whole thing.
I mean, she has none. She is basically has no influence. She's not even trying. I mean, people are saying, where is she? And I'm not talking about talk shows. I'm talking about people down there saying she's not around. She's not out there. Here you have Will Ainsworth with 35 people, and you look at YellowHammerNews.com, and who's the picture of? The sponsor, Andrew Jones? Lame. Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth.
Jones was featured very, very heavily in the piece as well and had some great comments.
Who's in the picture?
Okay.
Who's in the picture? The picture
Ivey's going to need help. Ivey's going to need help to influence enough people to get behind it. That's just simply put, and I'm sticking by that assessment along with what you guys are saying as well.
Yeah, I just think she needs to show up. I mean, she's going to have to get out there and fight for it. And here's the danger with this. So we had a $400 rebate and $800, and you could look at the people behind her when she mentioned that at the State of the State. They're like, huh? What's going on here?
Was that the number?
Yeah, was that it? And now it's coming down. If it turns into like 35 cents, we're going to send you a check for like 35 cents. How about that? Is that cool? It's going to have to be $200 or more. And still, it seems like it's not something that most people
but can
really
they still swing it with the grocery tax being...
I don't think they need to. I think this
No, and that was the argument being made. Yeah. Like, instead of a one-time rebate, let's...
Go with the big thing. Yeah, I completely agree. All right, Tim Melton, thank you very much. Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, 10 until noon. News and Views. We appreciate Tim being here. We will talk with him again soon. Mecca's also out of here. She's got to stop and get pudding on the way home. The show will get a lot better next. Stay tuned. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. We'll get to your parting shot here in a second where I recommend a bill for the Alabama legislature. I'm going to help them out. They need it. Stay tuned. Before we get into that, though, the 7 things. Go sign up for it right now at yellowhammernews.com. Every single morning, you'll get the 7 things you should be talking about today delivered directly to your email inbox. You don't have to do any thinking. I've already done it all for you. All you got to do is read it. yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast right there. But right now, let's go ahead and get to the parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at a lot of Alabama legislators. I'm here to help you, okay? Consider this free advice because the things you're saying make you sound maybe not so smart. When you say things like, we were going to do this, but we ran out of time. The calendar is what the calendar is, and we had to follow it, and now we're out of time. Let me help you out here. I'm going to give you some remedial education here for you, okay? You guys talk about the Literacy Act, right? You need to make sure the kids are able to read. The Numeracy Act, and after some of you looked that up, you knew that that was about math. And this is now going to be the Calendar Read Good Act. And what it is we're going to force kids in the state of Alabama to understand how to read calendars. And what will happen is they'll understand the numbers of days in the calendars and how they have to operate in order to work inside that calendar to get things done they say they want to get done. So the next round of legislators, they have a chance to be able to get stuff done without saying, well, we can't, the calendar just got in the way. I am going to give you a bit of a pass, though. And the reason I'm going to give you guys a bit of a pass is because you were educated by this same Alabama education system that you guys can't seem to fix. And yes, at this point, it does fall on you because you guys have been talking about it for so long. Republicans have had control of the legislature since how long? Oh, a long time after Democrats had it for 136 years. And now we're still having the same conversation. So the Calendar Read Good Act, it's going to come before you. Someone will explain to you what it means. You just got to put your X on it and you'll be fine. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics This Week. We'll be back next week.